We're people, all of us, including this customer for a mini computer.
Watch your step.
Our desktop computer, Mr. Saunders, that's what...
Will you? Yes, I was saying we started in a small way, but we've grown fairly big over the past few years.
Seems a lot to keep track of, Mr. Saunders.
Morning, Fred.
Morning, Mr. Saunders.
Kids got over the measles all right?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Both back at school.
Good. Sorry, you were saying?
I was saying that our
Morning,
computer
Harry.
can get rid of the irritating details, Mr. Saunders.
There are some things you've got to do for yourself.
Of course, but it will handle stock positions, cash flow, and give you totally logical CPA. And, of course, you won't have to worry about employee details anymore.
Oh, dear.
You'll have all their health records, holiday details, pension entitlements, a complete data bank.
You see, he's so concerned to sell his computer,
Nothing to remember, it's all done for you.
but he's forgotten it's Mr. Saunders he's talking to.
I may be hard-pressed, young man, but things will have to get a lot tougher before I turn Bob and Fred and his kids and old George down there into blips on a computer tape.
If he'd paid attention to Mr. Saunders as a person, he'd have realized how much he valued his human contact with his employees. Then the conversation might have gone more like this.
And I was saying that our computer gets
Morning,
rid
Harry.
of the irritating details, Mr. Saunders.
There's some jobs you've got to do for yourself.
Of course. But the computer's job is to relieve you of those routine tasks that take up so much of your time at present.
They certainly do that.
Exactly. We can give you the time to do the sort of face-to-face work with people that's so important.
Perhaps it's not such a bad idea after all. Let's go into the site office and talk it over.
Salesmen work face-to-face with people, too. So do remember that we are people, not just potential customers. And it's as people we'll decide we want to buy. Now, let's write something down. What about talk person to person? Talk person to person. That's rule 3 of good two-way communication.
One-way street, madam.
No, it's not.
One-way street, madam.
Well, you're nearer the end than I am. Can't you reverse?
It's a one-way street. Would you mind moving?
Thank you very much.
You silly...
Stupid way to drive.
So, bang, win, mind, no claim votes. She drives in town as if she were in the middle of the Kalahari Desert. Never looks for signals.
That was rather embarrassing. But it does make a point that I've been asked to make, that one ignores signals at one's peril.
I think I'd do better increasing my mortgage repayments rather than taking out life assurance.
Well, property's a very good investment. But if,
Yes,
When you
we are still talking about selling. You see, we customers are always making signals, and it is very much part of two-way communication to watch for those signals and to understand them.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but I do very much want to watch the European Cup.
I'm sorry. I know I said I wouldn't interrupt, but do you mind if I just have a tiny word with my friend?
Please do.
You missed the signals.
what signals?
Glancing at his watch. The longing look at the television set. Signals that you'd lost touch with him.
Oh, I see. Should I try another approach?
I think you better. I won't interrupt again, I promise.
Let me put it another way. Property's okay, so long as you combine it with life assurance. When you get your next promotion, you may want to move to a larger house, and you'll be able to use your policy as collateral for the deposit.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. But it's all theoretical, isn't it? I mean, I can't afford the premiums.
I made some coffee.
Oh, let me take that, darling. You sit down.
Very kind of you, Mrs. Williams. Your husband's just been telling me that he can't afford life assurance. But with the two of you working, I'm sure that...
right.
you could- Yeah, with the two salaries coming in, it should
I
be...
know I said I wouldn't interrupt again, but I can't bear it. Signals. Can't you see how solicitous he's being?
You mean she's ill?
She's radiant.
Can you afford not to have life assurance, Mr. Williams? With your responsibilities? A house, a wife, and perhaps before very long, a family.
Funny you should say that.
Anyone can learn to be sensitive, alert for signals. We customers are always giving ourselves away without realizing it by things we say and do. We are communicating, giving you information. Time for another bit of that writing, I suspect. Do watch for signals. Rule 4 of two-way communication.
There are 4 of us, usually quite a lot of luggage. Do you think that...
Approximately 16.4 cubic feet in the boot, madam. 16.4. Or, if you prefer, 91 kilograms of rear axle load capacity.
Really? Actually, I was wondering more about how it pulls.
Well, you've got a 4-cylinder overhead valve pushrod-operated unit of 1600 cc, madam, delivering 69 DIN bhp at 4,800 revs.
Have I?
Oh, excuse me a moment, madam.
Oh, sorry.
Are you interested in this car, madam?
Oh, I was, but I don't know. It's so confusing.
What isn't clear, madam?
Well, I was wondering about the suspension.
Well, the suspension's been completely redesigned on this model. What it means is the car doesn't roll round corners. It holds the road much better and gives you a more comfortable ride.
Oh, I see. What about the engine? We drive a long way on holidays, 4 of us and quite a lot of luggage.
Well, the engine's very well matched to suit the car's size. You could cruise comfortably at around 70 with a full load and still get up to 13 miles per gallon.
Quite good, isn't it? Tell me, how much is 16.4 cubic feet anyway?
Oh, you mean the boot space? Oh, well, let's have a look.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It is rather a good idea, isn't it? I mean, a cubic foot sounds as if it might have something to do with cricket, like square leg. So it does help to talk the same language as the person you're talking to. Everything from being frightfully technical with the expert to being straightforward and understandable with simple souls like me. Now, we'd better have that 5th and last rule written down, don't you think? Talk the same language so you can really build two-way communication. So, that's it. Now, I did warn you I know nothing whatever about selling, but as a customer, I do know that I decide to buy when a salesperson bothers to find out about me and my needs. That means two-way communication. I'm told that this is where we do something called a recap. That sounds faintly vulgar, but here goes. Ask questions.
But would you mind telling me how much your heating bill came to last winter?
Searching questions.
So why won't you take our range, Mr. Hazeldine?
And listen. Listen to the answers.
Now, I'm looking for new ways of merchandising and so on.
Go on.
And talk person to person, which means knowing the sort of person you're talking to.
We can give you the time to do the sort of face-to-face work with people that's so important.
And watch for signals.
A house, a wife, and perhaps before very long, a family. Our family protection plan.
Don't talk jargon.
Coil springs with hydraulic telescopic struts.
But talk the same language.
It holds the road much better and gives a more comfortable ride.
So there we are. Ask questions, listen, talk person to person, watch for signals, talk the same language. The 5 golden rules of good two-way communication. And with good two-way communication, one can help anyone decide to buy anything. Ah, thank you. Charles, this is absolute heaven. What a wonderful idea of yours.